Hi everyone, have you ever dreamed of making your own game? We all love playing games, whether it's a big blockbuster or a simple mobile app. But what if I told you that creating a game isn't as possible as it might seem? Behind every game is a process, an idea, the right tools, and someone who decided to take that first step. Sure, companies like Rockstar or Valve have hundreds of people working on their projects, but here is the truth. Every professional on those teams once started out just like you. They were curious about the game industry, they played games since childhood, asked themselves how it all worked, and eventually started creating their own games. And here is the best part, you don't need a giant team to create something amazing. Even a single developer can make a game that takes the world by storm. And today I want to help you take that same step. Maybe you've decided to make your first game. Yeah, you're not a team or a studio, it's just you. People who create games solo like that are called indie developers. And believe me, even one person can change everything, just like Stan Lee said.
You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
In game dev, it's totally possible to create a masterpiece on your own. I'm not saying this for no reason. Here are some examples of top indie projects. Backshot Roulette, The Forest, Forager, Papers, Please, Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's, Undertale, Stardew Valley, Terraria. All of these games were made by just one person, but the work behind them feels like it was done by a big studio. That's why I am telling you that even one person can make the best games. So, you decided to start your journey in game development. Awesome, but before you dive in, there is one thing you need to do first. Define your own idea. Think about games like Plants vs Zombies, Tetris, Zuma, Flappy Bird. They all have very simple mechanics, but also very strong creative core ideas. That's exactly where you need to begin. Simple but smart. So why am I telling you all this? The main thing that truly matters is the idea behind the game. Most of the games we mentioned didn't blow up because of insane graphics or ultra complex mechanics. They stood out because of a unique, powerful idea. In game development, the idea is everything. You could have perfect art, amazing visuals, and polished mechanics, but if your idea is weak or boring, your game just won't stand out. It won't leave a mark on the industry. That's why the first step is to come up with an idea that's unrepeatable, something that makes people stop and say, wow, I've never seen that before. Maybe you already have something in mind. If not, start thinking. Now I know what are you thinking. My game will be like Minecraft, or maybe something like GTA. Stop. Yes, those are great dreams, but right now you are just starting out. You are learning, experimenting, building skills. If you take on something too big, too early, you'll likely never finish it. Worse, you might end up completely burnt out. So start small, start smart, focus on a tiny game with a clear goal and scope, and then finish it. That's how you grow. Your idea doesn't have to be huge or revolutionary, it just needs to be fresh, clear, and yours. After you come up with your own idea, the next step is to start working on the project. But then the question comes up, what game engine should I choose to work with? As I mentioned earlier, all big companies usually make their games using their own custom engines. But what about us, regular people? How can we make something that looks professional? That's where game makers come in, and the most professional and widely used ones are Unity, Godot, and Unreal Engine. Don't even try to drop another engine in the comments, these three are the juggernauts of the game dev world. Alright, we've got 3 engines, so let's go through them one by one. Which one should you choose? Let's start with Unreal Engine. Some incredible games were made with it, like Fortnite, The Witcher 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Street Fighter 6. Unreal Engine is the biggest and the most powerful among the 3. It's known for its jaw-dropping graphics and high-end performance. That's why it's often used in AAA game development and even movies. But there is a catch. This engine uses C++, one of the hardest and most unexplainable programming language out there. Learning it takes serious time and dedication. It's not beginner-friendly at all. Also, forget about making a 2D game here. While it's technically possible, Unreal Engine is mostly focused on 3D and large-scale projects. So, if your dream is to make a AAA level game with top-tier visuals and cutting-edge features, Unreal Engine might be the right pick for you. Alright, the second engine on our list is Godot. What makes it different from the others? Well, it's by far the lightest and easiest engine to use. Some games made with Godot include Backshot Roulette, a recent viral hit with a super unique horror vibe, Cassette Beasts, The Case of the Golden Idol, Rock State Revolution, Gado uses a scripting language called GDScript, which is very similar to Python, one of the easiest and the most beginner-friendly programming languages. Most schools even teach Python as a starting language, so if you've ever seen it before, Gado will feel super intuitive. Another huge plus, Gado is tiny. It takes up almost no space and runs smoothly even on low-end CAS. But let's be real, compared to Unity and Unreal, Gado is not as popular yet. Still, it's growing fast, and nowadays you'll find plenty of tutorials and an active community ready to help. Best part? Gado supports both 2D and 3D development, so whatever game idea you've got, platformer, shooter, story game, you can build it here. Okay, the last one is Unity. Let me introduce you to it. Here is the thing, you won't even have to go looking for downsides, cause honestly, there aren't many. Alright, maybe I am being a bit too dramatic, let's keep it real. Unity is known for being beginner friendly and easy to understand. On top of that, games made with Unity usually don't take up much space, which makes them super efficient. Some well-known games made with Unity include Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Rust, yeah, that instantly popular hardcore survival game, Escape from Tarkov, and so on. Unity uses a programming language called C#, which is much easier to learn compared to C++. If you're just starting out, C# is a solid choice. It's clean, readable, and widely used across many types of software. With some patience and dedication, you'll be writing your own gameplay systems in no time. Unity is also extremely flexible. You can make 2D or 3D games for mobile, consoles, or even VR. Whether you're building a tiny mobile game or dreaming big with a full-blown indie title, Unity has all the tools you need. So, after choosing one of the free game engines, you'll need to work on your game's graphics. Computer graphics are basically divided into two types, 2D and 3D, and that's it. Why? Because our world is 3D. Anything beyond that, like 4D and up, we simply can't see. Our perception is limited. Now, it's up to you to decide in which space do you want to create your game. If you are going straight into 3D, great, you'll need to check out programs like Maya, ZBrush, 3ds Max, Blender, and others. These tools will help you create your first 3D models. But if you realize that 3D is harder than 2D, good, then 2D might be the way to go for you. For 2D, you can use tools like Acerbrite for pixel art, Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape for vector art, or just draw your assets in Adobe Photoshop. It's all up to your style. And hey, if drawing isn't your thing and you just want to start making games right away, there are special sites and asset libraries where you can get free or paid assets, so there is no real limit. You can do it your own way, because visuals, while important, aren't the most crucial part of a game. After you've picked your game engine, you should already have one direction to follow. Let's say I chose Unity. Now it's time to start learning its programming language, which is C#. So what should I do? Buy expensive courses? Absolutely not. There is no secret formula or magic pill for learning a programming language. It's a step-by-step process, and the most important thing is to just start. For example, I want to make a simple game like Flappy Bird, so I go to YouTube, search for a Flappy Bird tutorial in Unity, and just follow along. Why? Because this is how you begin to understand the basics. Even if you don't fully understand the code at first, try your best to visualize it. Break it down and make sense of it from your own perspective. After a few small projects, you'll start to understand the language naturally. If you decide to buy a course, that's totally your choice. But remember, one of the most important things is to join communities where people talk about game dev. Look for Discord servers, forums, or Telegram channels where experienced developers hang out. You can ask literally any question and someone will definitely help you out. Now you've reached the most important part. Everything we discussed earlier isn't just advice, it's a path to creating your first game. First, the idea. Don't copy, don't repeat, make something your own. It doesn't have to be big, just unique and personal. Next, the engine. Unity, Gado or Unreal Engine. Choose what suits you. Then, graphics. 2D or 3D doesn't matter. What matters is style, and if you can draw, use free or paid assets. Finally, programming. Start small, watch tutorials, create simple games, but as a beginner, you need to focus on learning game development, at least for your first year. Why? Because it's not about others, it's for you. You simply can't pull off something you've never done before without practice. That's just how it works, so where do you start? Just start. Open up a tutorial and make your first small game. Yeah, it might sound silly, but that's how it all begins. You follow along, you build something, and you learn step by step. No one starts with a masterpiece. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So, this was me, NK Game Developer. Alright, see you all.